Hey everyone, it's Benedek here. This is a lap guide around Road Atlanta. This is my first lap guide video, so please don't be harsh on me if it's not so good, but I will try my best to guide you around Road Atlanta in a GT4. So, we are going on the main straight. We are keep it in 5th gear. We need to aim our car to this line and to this part of the track. As you can see, there's like an extra space that we can use to bring more speed into the corner and carry over. For that, we need to cut a little bit the grass. We have to go over it a little bit. It doesn't affect anything. You won't lose grip in the corner, but you will have some extra space that you can use and carry over the first corner. Very tiny brakes, maximum 30% pressure on the brakes um, to carry the most speed that we can do. We downshift to 4th. We are trail braking until the apex to keep the front down. We have some rotation into the corner, and once we hit the apex, we put the throttle back and as fast as possible to have the best acceleration out of the corner. Be careful to not go too fast into the corner, otherwise you will be too much on the left side, or maybe worse that you can hit the curb and it like keeps the car on the left side and you can't prepare the next corner. Try to come back to the middle of the track, and then you can have like a nice angle into this little left-hander. Very important to have the nice angle into the left-hander, otherwise you cannot use the curve on the left side, and then you cannot go over the curve perfectly on the right-hander there. We need to lift a little bit before the braking to settle the car to make the car a bit calm, and then we have nice rotation and the car is like very you can feel every point of the car what is gonna do and everything you wanna do later on in the corner. You're using the curb as much as possible. There's still a bit of space that I could use, but that won't affect too much if you are here on the curb. Downshift to third gear. Then we need to jump over the curb. Keep in mind the off track. This is like on the limit. Maybe I could cut a little bit more than this, but I think like this is enough. Also, like the corner before, you need to have a nice angle in the corner to have a nice exit speed through the downhill. And very, very important while you are going over this corner to not be too much on the left side here. Otherwise, you can't go over full throttle on this corner and you will have understeer. So you will kill the front tires. And yeah, that is not good for the race. You go on the curb. This curb helps you to rotate the car, and basically you need to go over the curb the whole corner because it just makes easy for us to make the corner. Full throttle from here, 4th and 5th gear. Be careful with the curb here, because if you have too much steering angle, you can lose the car easily, and then you will end up in this wall or this wall. So yeah, try to keep the steering angle as straight as possible to not lose the car. We are coming up to turn 7, I think. This is, I think, one of the most important corner on the track, and also one of the hardest track corner, I think, on the track. And maybe I think it's one of the hardest corner, I think, between every track, at least for me. So we need to lift a little bit before the braking, so we have time to have like a nice angle onto this curb, and then we start to brake. We are using the curb as much as possible. This is also like an extra half a meter to use, and then we can carry more speed into this corner and over the corner. We try to aim the car on the curb. The curb also, like on the previous corners, it helps to rotate the car. X rotation is always good, and basically this helps also to carry more speed through the corner. We downshift to third to also help the rotation a little bit, and basically once we are on the curve and we have a nice angle over the curve, because once again the angle is really important on this corner, because if the car is watching too much to this side or like the wall here, then you will end up on the grass or like you will jump too much on the curb, and this is like making us lose a lot of time. You can put the throttle back quite fast and don't really need to think about to not engage the TC. Since the TC toggle is not in the game anymore, we will engage the TC no matter what we do. So yeah, we go over the corner. We can use this part without a problem. There is no off track here. The off track here is somewhere here. If you go over too much on the gravel, then you can have an off track. Okay, next corner. This is also, I think, one of the most important two corner on the track, because then after we have the big back straight. We start to brake around the white line. Yeah, like right after the white line. We also don't need to use too much of a pressure, maximum 60%. And then we are trailing into the corner, downshift to third. And then we also aiming next to the curb. This is the apex. As you can see, the corner is like a little bit bended. It has some angle. This helps also to rotate the car much easier, and we can carry a lot of speed over the corner. So basically, like the corner looks a little bit slower than it is, but because of the angle of the corner, we can just carry a lot more speed over the corner. Once we have the apex and we have the nice rotation, we put the throttle back easily 100%. We won't lose the car too much, and then we are going on the exit curb. We stay on the exit curb. We're also using 60% brake pressure again. We are staying on the curb a little bit, and then at the end we are starting to turn to the right to aim for the curb inside of the corner. Very important to not go too fast into the corner, otherwise our exit speed will be very bad and we will lose the time from here until the next braking point. And yeah, and we will be in a big disadvantage also to the cars behind, because we will make their life easier to pass us. We are on the curb, use the curb as much as possible. This also gives a good rotation over the corner. And then once we have the rotation, we can put the throttle back and we can have a nice exit. Be careful with the TC. Try to not engage it that much. You have to wait a little bit with the 100% throttle. But I think we can use quite a lot of throttle from the curb once we have the rotation. Okay. We aim to the curb on the outside, and then we are going through the back straight. We need to use the line. I think with the GT3, I think this is the fastest line. That from the uphill we start to go out to the inside. I think we'll have a little bit more top speed than we would have somewhere here. This is some iRacing things. Then we are in 6th gear. Our braking point is a little bit before the 100-meter board. Once again, very important to use as much as possible the track space. As you can see, I'm using the curb as much as I can to have more space and more time to and a better angle into the left hander to carry more speed over the corner. Very important again to not go too fast into the left hander, otherwise we will end up too much on the right side, and then our exit from here until the finish line or until the first corner we'll lose a lot of time to the other guys behind, and overall it won't be good for our lap time too. We are trying to cut as much as possible. They changed, I think, the track limit 1 or 2 seasons ago. We cannot cut as much as before. So, now I think it's the white line. So with one wheel we have to be on the white line. I think that is the new track limit. So be very careful during the races. Do not cut too much because it's very easy to get off tracks during the race and also on the qualifying. And it's very good to minimize our off tracks until the end of the races, because then we can cheat a little bit, so we can use some extra off tracks. But yeah, very easy to get the off tracks on this track, especially because of this corner and also because of the chicane at the beginning of the track. So yeah, try to be very careful here. Okay, once again, we need a good angle in the left hander to have the best exit possible on the right hander. Try to keep it on the left as much as possible without losing too much speed during the corner. And then very important to not lift too much between the two corner. As you can see, I lifted like a little bit to have a little bit to have a nice rotation over the right hander, and yeah, basically that's the one of the most important thing on this corner. We can use the curb again here. It gives us some extra rotation. Just be careful on the exit because there is a little bump. Do not be on too much throttle, otherwise we are losing the rear and you will have some wheel spin and we are going to lose some time. Using the curb on the exit as much as possible. And then this is the last corner. During qualifying, try to minimize the meters uh, as much as possible to gain some time. But during the race, I think the best line is to be somewhere here, because otherwise you can still have a nice exit speed through this corner until T1. So yeah, this is a lap around Road Atlanta in a GT3. This was a 1:17.006. There is a little bit of time still, but I think this is like a decent lap, clean lap. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. This was the first lap guide I ever done. I'm planning to do more. I hope you enjoyed it. And yeah, see you guys in the next video. Have a nice preparation for the next week for IMSA week 11 in iRacing. And we will meet on track. See you guys.